This is the Applevis Podcast.
Hello, Applevis listeners. This is Lisa Salinger, and I'm here today to tell you about an app that you may like for your iPhone, and especially for your Apple Watch if you have one. That, to me, is where it really shines. This app is called Pedometer++. I went looking for an app like this because I was not completely satisfied with the way that I got information on my Apple Watch. Before I got the Apple Watch, I tracked steps with a Fitbit, and one thing it did exceptionally well was to put your steps right up there in front of you in a way that you really couldn't miss them. And with the Apple Watch, the focus is more on the 3 rings of moving, standing, and exercising. You can find your steps, but you have to kind of burrow deep into the activity app. And they don't seem to update in real life. Basically, if I could title the app I was looking for, it would have been called something like Steps in My Face or Steps I Can't Possibly Miss. Because more than those 3 other rings, this was the thing that I really wanted to track every day, although I have been tracking my standing a lot more. My theory is if you want an app and you look long enough, chances are you'll find something that is exactly what you want or similar. In this case, I found exactly what I wanted in the form of the Pedometer++ app. And I just searched, I believe, for pedometer. You can also use the plus sign. The developer of this app has also made another app which is quite popular called Sleep++, and that is for tracking your sleep on the Apple Watch. So I tried that app, did not really end up sticking with it, didn't really feel I needed it, but came to this app through that one. If you don't have an Apple Watch, you can still use this app on your phone, and it's quite a nice one. The disadvantage in just using the app on your phone is if you're not wearing your phone all the time, you're not counting your steps all the time. Then again, if you only want to count steps during workouts, this might be perfectly fine. Let's take a look at this app. It's fairly simple and straightforward. We'll first look at it on the phone. I'm using the Siri male voice, and when we switch to the Apple Watch, that will have the Samantha voice. I thought that might help make it more clear which device I was using. Before I even open the app, I'll get some information that might or might not be helpful to me.
Pedometer. 4,166 new items.
These new items, so to speak, are steps. I have walked additional steps since I opened this app, but let's take a look.
Pedometer. Settings. Button.
Let's flick right past settings. We'll come back to that fairly quickly. Settings is the first item on this screen.
Pedometer++. Heading. Share. Button.
There you can share your results in the normal ways, email, social media, etc.
Today 4,166 steps, 1.5 miles, 41% of goal.
For some reason, it did not update my steps. I specifically had walked a few more just to make sure that I had something it would update, and it didn't. Sometimes when you continue walking, it will update if I want an exact count. In other words, it's 11 o'clock at night. I really want to reach my 10,000 steps, and it's telling me 9,000 something. I really want that exact count because I'm tired and I want to know when I'm done. What I did to get my up-to-date step count was to kill the app from the app switcher and come back into it. You don't always have to do this, but sometimes you do.
Today 4,209 steps, 1.6 miles, 42% of goal.
So that tells me my steps It tells me my mileage, which I really don't think is accurate, but that has nothing to do with the app. It's because I did much of my workout on a rebounder, so I was essentially walking in place.
4,209 steps, 1.6 miles on January 28th.
And then it will list my step counts for the preceding several days.
12,294 steps, 4.6 miles on January 27th. 11,413 steps, 4.2 miles on January 26th.
And if I kept flicking right, I would hear about a week's worth of averages, and eventually I would reach the bottom of the screen, and there is no more information here. So essentially, this screen contains settings, and it contains your step counts for the past week. Let's then go ahead and take a look in settings.
Settings, button. Settings, export, button.
This allows you to export your workout data.
Settings, heading, done, button.
We'll come back to that done button, of course.
Daily step goal, 10,000. Decrement, button. Increment, button. Increment.
I double tapped the increment button, so let's look at our step goal now.
Decrement, 10,500.
So it will increment or increase, or decrement or decrease by 500 steps.
Decrement, button.
I'm going to double tap this to take me back to 10,000 steps.
Selected, customary, button. 1 of 2. Metric, button. 2 of 2.
That is an unusual way of putting it, but essentially by customary, I believe he's referring to standard United States, inches, feet, yards, etc.
Merge Apple Watch data. Switch button, on. Intelligently merge motion data from your iPhone and Apple Watch to give a better overall view of your activity.
I really like this, and if you have an Apple Watch, I recommend doing this. For a long time, I've said that I felt one of the problems with wrist-worn devices is if you were pushing a baby stroller or using a cane or using a guide dog on the affected hand, that in some situations your steps would not count. If you're also wearing your iPhone, it will merge the watch data with the accelerometer data and will give you more accurate information. I find that if I use the rebounder with both hands on the bar and I have my phone attached to me as well, I will get far more steps than when I'm using the same rebounder, my hands on the same bar, with the phone sitting off somewhere else.
Badge step count on icon. Switch button, on. Will display the current step count on the Pedometer plus app icon.
If you don't want to see this on your app, you would turn it off.
Automatic distance estimation. Switch button, off. This is typically more accurate than using a fixed stride length.
I turned this off because, again, depending on the kind of walking I'm doing, one day it told me I walked 11,000 steps and change and 1.4 miles, which I knew was incorrect. So I have it focus on stride length.
Male, button, 1 of 2.
Here it's asking for your gender.
Selected, female, button, 2 of 2. 4 feet 9. Decrement, button. Increment, button.
And you can increment or decrement by 1 inch. I used this app for a few days before seeing these settings, and I was glad I did because where it starts by default is at 5'9", so it wasn't counting many of my smaller steps. I really did wonder why I was having to work so hard to get to those 10,000 steps in a day.
Estimated stride, 23.5.
I don't really know what my stride length would be, so I just went with what it suggested based on my height.
Allow rest days. Switch button. On. When enabled, activity streaks will not be broken by a single day missed after 6 consecutive days of reaching your goal.
I think that's relatively self-explanatory.
Wheelchair mode. Switch button. Off. Have Pedometer ++ use your Apple Watch to measure your daily wheelchair push counts rather than steps. 5 stars. Leave a review button. If you have a minute to leave a review in the App Store, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps. Thank you. Workouts again button. Workouts ++.
And then this workouts icon button and then workouts ++. Basically what follows here is information about other apps from the developer. Some of these are more accessible than others. Beyond those is a tip jar where you can support the work of the developer. This is a free app, and a tip of any size will allow ads to go away, which I found was helpful and just made the app less cluttered overall.
You have taken 229,186 steps, 85.0 mi, using Pedometer ++. That's 3 marathons. Email support button.
So it gives me statistics, it allows me to email support, and that rounds out the settings section.
Settings heading.
I'm at the top of the screen now, and I'm going to double tap.
Done button. Done. Done. Pedometer ++. Settings button.
From here, I'm now going to switch and show you the app on my watch. I have put Pedometer ++ on my watch face. After all, I did say I wanted those steps in my face. So let's take a look. I'll start with my move information and then flick right.
Moving, 32%. Exercising, 37%. Standing, 33%. 4,209 steps, 2 miles. Double tap to open Pedometer ++.
And that is what I'll do.
Loading. Pedometer ++.
Let's go through the options.
4,209 steps.
And if I were walking, I would see those updating in real time.
1.6 miles. Start walk button.
And that's all that's here. So I'm going to double tap to start a walk. And now that we've started the walk, let's look at the screen.
22 seconds. Pedometer ++. 26 seconds. 4,209 steps. 69 beats per minute. 0.0. 0 calories burned. 1 calories burned.
Wow, 1 calorie just from living, because of course I'm recording, so I'm not walking. And that's all we've got here. Notice that there is no end walk button. This was a little problematic at first. I wrote to the developer, mentioned that there was no way to stop a walk that I could find using VoiceOver. They're going to look at the possibility of implementing a button, but until or if they do, here's an option. Really, this couldn't be simpler. From within the app, on any of the elements on your screen,
4,209 steps.
you press and hold.
End walk button. End. Pedometer ++.
And you just simply double tap to end your walk. This is a very simple app, a basic app, but for me, it's a very useful one because it does exactly what I need it to do. I hope that you will find it helpful as well, and if this isn't your thing, consider checking out the developer's other apps. If you'd like, you're welcome to contact me. The easiest way is probably through Twitter. I can be reached there at LISASALI. Thanks so much for listening.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Applevis community. For the latest in resources and tips and tricks to help you get the best from your Apple device, Visit us online at www.applevis.com.